Victory or death! Give them hell!
Good morning, ladies and gents. So Season 11 is going to be dropping on us this week, and we have just had some patch notes from the Frontier side of the game. Now, these patch notes usually are pretty similar to what we're going to be getting, so I'm going to have an explore of this, but again, please take this with a pinch of salt. These are not the official MyGames patch notes, they are the Frontier version of patch notes. Before we get into the video though, hit that subscribe button if you want to be kept up to date with the latest and greatest of Conquerors Blade. So then, these patch notes are found in the Steam page for the Frontier version of Conquerors Blade. Again, I really have to emphasize the fact that these patch notes may change somewhat to our version of the game. However, these patch notes in the past have been pretty similar, so I am going to go through them because I think it is a very good thing to kind of just go through and have a look at for some of the changes which may potentially be coming to our game in 4 days now on Thursday. So looking through the patch notes, there's been loads of different hero changes. There's been a few kind of changes to some of the units as well, so we are going to go through and explore all of those. All this video is going to be is me literally reading through these patch notes, so if you don't want to just watch a screen full of text for a couple of minutes, then just put me on in the background and just listen to what I am saying. So they are using a lot of player feedback still. They're kind of judging everything that they need to kind of balance and everything with player feedback, and they are looking at actually increasing the speed of which they are bringing out balance patches and changes to the game, which is a very good thing to see, because obviously they do kind of then lead on into the MyGames version of the game as well. Not all the time, not every single time do we get exactly what the Frontier version are getting, but most of the time it is either what we get or it's very similar. So it is always good to see that actually the developers of the game, Boom Intech, are taking player feedback very seriously, and they are really trying to start bringing back into date some of the older units, and they're actually trying to balance out some of the units as well. So they are looking at actually balance changing. We'll cover more heroes as well, units and runes. So they're looking at balancing literally everything, not just units in the game. They are going to increase the frequency of these balance rollouts. The balancing as well is going to be, from the looks of it, a little bit better kind of quality assurance, so a bit better tested, make sure the balance is actually having an effect before it is rolled out. And then they're going to keep on actually receiving player feedback and assessing if those changes are having the impact that they desire. Moving on down to the hero changes then. So sword, and shield, your kick skill is getting adjusted. It looks like your kick skill is actually having a fairly significant damage buff, which is obviously always good. Pike is having a change to the Wonder and Dragon skill, so they reduce the second strike's damage and armor penetration. They've reduced the duration of the third strike's 30% movement boost to 3 seconds as well, which is half a second difference, not a huge thing. Bow, I believe this is the long bow, so bodkin tipped. The increased duration to 4.5 seconds, fixed buck where the duration didn't always last 4 seconds as well. Rain of arrows has been increased in damage, so obviously a little bit of a buff there for the longbow. Dual blades, your bow shurikens have had their piercing damage decreased very slightly. Increased even, not decreased. My bad, I was reading that wrong. So bow shurikens have had their base damage actually increased very slightly. Short bow, your parting shot again has been decreased. Yeah, I'm reading that right. Short bow has been decreased very slightly, or your parting shot skill. Nadachi, so your fearless and steadfast has been buffed quite a big bit actually. Bloodthirsty as well has also been buffed, so both slashing damage of fearless and steadfast and the piercing damage of bloodthirsty have both been buffed, so Nadachi have had a fairly big buff. And Polax, Beck de Corbin has been buffed, so not a huge buff for the Polax, but a fairly decent buff that is going to make a little bit of a difference in the game. Longsword and shield. So Sally Forth, the slashing damage has been nerfed a little bit in all stages. Yeah, in all stages the actual slashing damage has been nerfed a little bit, except in stage 3 where they've actually increased the damage output a little bit from what it was before. The Maul has, for some reason, had a buff. I don't know why. But combat dismount, which is the dismount off the horse, really fast dismount off the horse, you have had an adjustment to your blunt damage to 225% from 195%. So the combat dismount is going to do even more damage, and I'm very clueless as to why that's happened. Like I said, all these changes are the Frontier version of the game, so don't take it as these are definitely what we are going to be getting. But like I said, right at the start of the video, it is usually a pretty good kind of look at what is coming. Going into the units then, some really odd kind of changes for some of the units. So the Tenant Farmers, their health increased by 200. Iron Cap Scouts Cavalry, they have had their damage output increased. Javelin Militia have had their damage and block increased. Cautions have had their damage increased. Vanguard Archers, their defense increased. Vassal Longbowmen, their armor penetration increased by 75. Loyal Guards, I believe that's the Palace Guards, block increased by 100. Expedition Knights, I believe that is, I'm not quite sure. They've got very different names from version to version, but their blunt damage increased by 33. Imperial Spear Guards, blunt armor penetration increased by 100, blunt damage increased by 75. Prefecture Heavy Cavalry, slashing damage has increased. Odin's Berserkers, piercing defense has been increased. Fire Lancers have had their blunt damage increased, and Royal Janissaries have had their slashing damage increased. All of the numbers are very odd kind of numbers for the increases though, so it's kind of making me wonder why for some of them. But like I said, this is all the Frontier version of the game. It's going to be interesting to see how much of this actually crosses over to the MyGames version of the game. Please do take all of these patch notes with a pinch of salt, but like I said, in the seasons that have gone past, these are a pretty good indicator of what may be coming to our version of the game. What are your thoughts on Season 11, everything that you've seen? I am going to be putting out another Season 11 video tomorrow as well about the units in particular. But let me know what your thoughts are on Season 11. Are you looking forward to it dropping on Thursday? What are you most looking forward to? Do you think we're going to be getting all of this stuff that is in these patch notes, or do you think we're going to be getting different stuff? Let me know all your reasons down below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and share this video around. And I hope to catch you out on the battlefield.